Alright guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to make a sprint system for Roblox. Alright, first we're going to start with the local scripts. So we're going to come right over here to starter player scripts. And we're going to make a new local script. And let's name this to key detection. Now, this script is going to detect if the player is pressing the sprint key or not. So we're going to make a variable for the user input service. So we're going to do game get service, and we're going to put user input service. Next, we're going to do local sprint key, which is going to be enum.keycode.left shift. That's just whatever button you want to be the button to start the sprinting. Like, that's the button you want the person to press whenever they start running. Alright, so now we get into the actual code. So we're going to do uis.inputBegan, connect function, and in the parentheses put key. This will detect whenever the player presses a button, and this key is going to be the button they press. So now we're going to do if sprint key equals key.keycode, then, and that will check to see if the sprint key you set here, which is set to left shift, equals the button they pressed, which would have to be left shift for it to continue the code. So now we're gonna put the actual thing in. So before we can put that in, we have to come over here, replicate storage, and we're going to make a new folder. And we're just going to call this events. And we're going to make a new remote event, and we can call this one initiate sprint. And now, anytime we want to have them sprint, have the player sprint, we're going to fire this event. So to do that, we're going to do game.replicateStorage.events.initiateSprint fire server. And now we have to send variables to it. In this case, because the shift key is down, we want to send true. So that true variable will be carried on in the next script we make. Now, we also want to make it so that whenever you let go of the shift button, the character stops running. So we're going to change this. We're just going to duplicate that code, and we're going to change it from input began to input ended. So that way, whenever you stop pressing the shift key, this one will run. And instead of sending true, we need to send false. So now that it sends that through the event, we have to come over here to server script service and make a new script. We'll call this one sprint handler. Right, and now this one will run whenever the key detection script over here, whenever this one sends a message through the initiate sprint event, this script is going to detect it and run code based on what's sent through. So to do that, we're just going to do game.replicateStorage.events and .initiate sprint, And that'll basically just go to the event, and we're going to do on server event connect function, and can do that. And now that's going to run whenever the key detection script sends a message to the initiate sprint event. Initiate sprint will send a message to sprint handler now through this code, and we need to carry the variables because the variables come from here to here and now to here, and that will be player, so that's the actual player character, or well, the player's player instance. And the next one is going to be sprint value. So this is going to be the true or false here is going to be the sprint value. So now we're going to come here and we're just going to put in if sprint value equals true. So that means that the player wants to sprint. Then we're just going to come here and we're going to say player, and we're going to get the character by doing dot character. And then if we go to their humanoid using dot humanoid, then we can change their walk speed. So dot walk speed, and we can set that to whatever, so that'd be 20. And we're going to change that n to an else. And this is going to be, so if it wants the character to stop sprinting, so it would be stop sprinting, then it will set the walk speed back to 16, which is the normal Roblox walk speed. So now that that's done there, come here, and if we run it, we should gain speed if we hold shift. Yep. Right. So now there's one final thing we need to do. We're going to come here and we're going to make it so that whenever the player is running, the camera gets wider. So to do that, we'll do game.workspace.current camera, and that just gets that goes to the camera that the player is using. And we're going to change the field of view to 80 whenever they're running. And whenever they stop running, we're going to set it back to 70, which is the normal one. So now we have, whoa. Oh. Alright, that's a bit of a, oops, that's a mistake. We gotta move that right into here. There we go. That goes in here because we only want it to happen if the character's running. Right, so there we go. Now we have a completed sprint script. So now you can run around as much as you want.